All right, what's up, big dogs? Today's video, we are going to go over the PTR patch notes that came out yesterday, as well as a few other things Steven posted on Discord today. And so we're going to dive into those things. I'm going to provide my thoughts in general. Yeah, we're just going to dive into it. So let's begin. These are the updates note for changes to the private test realm NDA that went to testers on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. As a reminder, if you come across bugs during PTR testing, please report them to us in-game using /bug. PTR update notes 0.9.0 highlights: the Jundark is now available. This zone includes new nodes, gatherables, recipes, rewards, pocket dungeons, enemies, treasure maps, events, and mounts. And so, you guys may be asking yourself, Noah, what the hell is the Jundark? Well, the Jundark is this area right down here. And so currently, this is the Jundark that's being expanded. As you guys know, this area is the Riverlands, this area is the desert that's being expanded, and then we have the tropics up here. And so, as you guys know, most of Alpha 2 has revolved around mostly the Riverlands. We've gotten desert expansion more in this video, and then we've gotten tropics expansion more in this video, and now we've expanded to the southern part of the map, which is the Jundark. So in general, this is really exciting because, I mean, this basically marks the point where about half of one of the continents is available. This is a very, very large map. There are a lot of things to explore. Like the tropics have been out for a couple weeks now. I got out there for the first time this last week, and there's just so much more to go out and experience. I didn't even make it to the big island. I was messing around on the smaller islands. So having a whole new area to go out and explore, in my opinion, is pretty damn exciting. I'm looking forward to it. We will just wipe this, but that gives you a visual idea of where we're at overall. Pocket dungeons. Stonehold pocket dungeons will now unlock when Squall's end node reaches stage 1. Communion pocket dungeon will now unlock when Squall's end node reaches stage 2. Apothecarium Dreadmire will unlock at stage 2, Gypsum Outpost at stage 3, and then lighting updated for all of these different areas. These are all nodes in the desert. So these are the pocket dungeons in the desert. So as the desert levels up, these pocket dungeons will become available for people to grind and level in. Moltrock's fall floor has been fixed, so it will no longer flicker visually. Nodes. New nodes have been added to the Turquoise Sea. Seahook, Wind and Sea, and Shorefoot can now advance to node stage 3. So the tropics that we've had for the last couple of weeks have not had nodes yet. It's just been a lawless area. Now we have nodes available in the tropics. So more area to expand into. It's going to make the May 1st new server a lot more exciting, in my opinion. The first time in phase 2, we had a bunch of people packed onto the same server, and everybody was just packed in the Riverlands because initially the desert wasn't fully fleshed out yet, so not the way it currently is. You had nodes out there, but things weren't fully finalized, and so a lot of players did initially move out to the desert because there wasn't good grinding points of interest, there wasn't good area, there wasn't new resources to get, there wasn't new gear online yet. It was just very initially rudimentary. And so a lot of people just stacked into the Riverlands. The tropics was even less developed. And now when May 1st goes live, we will have all of the Riverlands and everything that we've gone through a few times. And then we will have 5 desert nodes available to level up as well, which doubles the amount of nodes we had at the beginning of phase 1 on top of these 3 nodes in the tropics. And so people will spread out a little bit more. They'll take new strategies, new politics. All this is fun stuff. Maybe new trade routes, all these sorts of things. So very, very exciting stuff for May 1st. Obviously, you can do it beforehand. I'm just talking about the new people coming in. It's quite a bit different than phase 2. Turquoise Sea buy orders, mayoral commissions have been added to Seahook, Wind and Sea, and Shorefoot. New Turquoise Sea node commodities have been added. Corn and Brine Barrel are part of the PvP lawless area. So I'm assuming these are also 2 nodes in the tropics that just are not yet up and running, like Seahook, Wind and Sea, and Shorefoot. That's how I'm interpreting it. Citizen contributions toward node buildings have been updated so characters can now contribute multiple resources of a similar type. Made several UI improvements to node menus. Node Siege. Characters will no longer be at war with the opposing Node Siege team until the preparation phase for the event begins. I think this makes complete sense. The siege is the event. Like, why would you have a bunch of stuff going on before that? You wouldn't be able to prep very well. Mounts can no longer be summoned during active node sieges. I think this makes sense. Reduced lag caused by character ash loot piles. Enemies and NPCs. Tumok the Wretched's patrol route has been adjusted to prevent him from getting stuck in some places in the Riverlands. More node guards will now use range attacks to hit targets they can't hit with melee attacks. Quests, events, and commissions. Turquoise Sea kill commission rarity has been updated to reflect the challenge involved. Additionally, the commission locations that appear on the map will now display the correct location names. Eyes in the Canopy event can now be completed. Rotting Grotto commission text has been updated to have the correct names of the enemies required to complete this. Economy artisan and artisanship. Deconstructing novice gear should now correctly give the correct glintic residuum for tempering, depending on what type of item you deconstruct. Yeah, this is going to be in the video that I either post tomorrow or the day after. I was getting the wrong glintic residuum, as they said here, and I was just going to point it out that it wasn't how it was supposed to work. They already identified it as a bug. Apparently it's fixed, so we don't even really have to talk about it anymore, but I'll bring it up anyways. But that's what they're talking about as far as tempering goes. Dunmore helm recipe has been fixed and is now available in the armor smithing station. Oh my goodness. Okay. That is a very good helmet. It is a very, very good helmet. General, added material storage to freeholds. Excellent. All open seas are now lawless PvP areas, as it should be. That's what the open sea will be in this game when it goes live, which is another exciting aspect that I'm looking forward to. Added 1 new harbor in the Riverlands and 2 new harbors in the Sandsquall Desert. Locations for these harbors have been added to the map. That's so freaking cool. Excellent. Made improvements to how characters and mounts render in high density situations. I am excited to see this. I am very excited to see this. So I hadn't read these yet. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this is going to look like. Because yeah, render distance with large amounts of players in an area narrows down a lot, and it makes large scale PvP not a whole lot of fun, in my opinion, because you don't know what you're fighting. Hopefully this is I'm excited to see what this is. I don't know what it is yet, but if it's good enough to do a video on, I will post it for you guys. Rogue archetype has been added to party and raid menus so people can set the color for them. Map of the Turquoise Sea shows the zone of influence for each node. Excellent. Visual improvements to the coastal water near Shorefoot, and updated some icons. So that is the patch notes. There is a lot here. As you guys know, there are some things, I talked about it in my video last week. There are some things that Ashes of Creation is behind on per their timetable, right? Like the dynamic gridding isn't up, vassalization isn't up, stage 4 nodes are not up, but where they have been remarkably consistent is the expansion of the overall map. Every month, they said that the desert was going to be expanded. I know it doesn't exist, but it has been expanded, and then they expanded the tropics, and then immediately afterwards they said the Jundark will be out this month, and lo and behold, we do have the Jundark out this month. And so it looks like the content cadence, and I very well could be wrong, this is my speculation, okay, tinfoil hat and everything, I'm expecting we'll probably have nodes available in the Jundark in the next 2 months or so. That's how I would assume. So sometime maybe late May, early June, we'll have Jundark nodes, which I think will be pretty cool. And then maybe, May, June, around that time, we will have a whole new area on the continent to expand into as well. So they have not announced that. I want to be clear that they have not announced that. This is just the cadence that they've been going for releasing different parts of the map. And I'm excited to see it because obviously it's undeveloped and everything, but it's cool seeing the world get fleshed out, like being on the world and watching things get changed quite a bit. I'll do a video talking about this later, but because I stream occasionally and I haven't streamed as much, I have streaming videos from way back in phase 1, early on in phase 2, and then I can go out and I can get stuff now. And so seeing how the world has evolved from the beginning to now has been really cool to see. And sometimes, like when you're living or when you're experiencing where it's at, you don't feel like much change is happening, and then you go back and you look at phase 1 stuff and you're like, oh yeah, this did look completely different, didn't it? Like you just don't remember those aspects. And so a lot is happening, a lot is changing, and we get to experience a new area. Now, that's not all I wanted to talk about, guys, because Steven announced today that May 1st will include the removal of static rarity, which is huge. I did a video talking about static rarity. I don't think it's a good design under its current system, and they are removing it, which, they said they were going to. New players coming in May 1st, if you're coming into a new area May 1st, or you just don't want to deal with the old economy of your old server, static rarity is being removed, which means that each node will have an RNG chance at dropping whatever. Hopefully they give us more details on what the system will be, but that was important enough, in my opinion, to include in this video. And then Steven also said, in all honesty, I have already spoken with the combat team about some changes for the tank that I think will address some issues. So, tank changes. I know a lot of my tank friends have not liked certain parts of the tank. They've wanted some reworks. And in general, it's not that the tank is bad. It's just relative to other archetypes, right? And I know some tanks are going to be like, no, it's bad. I understand. I haven't played tank. I just want to. I interrupted my own sentence with my own train of thought. That's what happened there. In my opinion, some of the other archetypes, it's not that they're necessarily bad, but it's that Bard and Rogue are really, really good. And so when you look at the other archetypes and you put them and you compare them to those two, the other ones could use improvements. And the goal, I think the goal for Intrepid, I think the goal for everybody is to have all these archetypes stand out, unique, have their own powers, feel powerful in a player's hands, and these sorts of things. And Rogue accomplishes it well, Bard accomplishes it well, and other archetypes may accomplish it well, but they don't, maybe they're not as free-flowing, they don't feel they don't have the same feel to them as those two archetypes do. And so the point that I'm trying to make is in my opinion, all the other archetypes, tank included, could be brought up aesthetically to the Bard and Rogue level. I'm not talking about power, I'm just talking about aesthetics. So I'm gonna end this video. If you guys agree or disagree with me, that's fine. If you guys want to tank me out and, you know, say I got the tank wrong, please explain in the comment section below. But I'm gonna end this video here. If you have any questions or comments, please provide in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.